Hey hon, it's your buddy Matt Chandler here, across the ocean and across 2/3 of the North American continent, bringing you another video just for you. I said I'd get to my keys. I'm waiting on something, so you're gonna have to wait just a little bit longer. So I decided to show you my messenger bag. Now, I don't carry this every day, but when I do carry a bag, this is one of the ones I carry. I do also have a backpack, which I'll show you as well, but this is my preferred mode for just living in the city. This is a very inexpensive bag that I got. I think it was $25 maybe. I like it because it's very simple. It's just a canvas bag that I sprayed waterproofing on. So, you know, that helps a lot. Very simple structure to it. It's just one pocket. It's got the flap in the front and all my goodies in there. We got a few pins here. I've got a make good trouble, punch a Nazi. I've got my memento mori, tempus fugit. Time kills all, remember that you must die. Very cheerful. And an MF Doom enamel pin, and my Miles Davis Fearless patch that I, once again, stuck on there in my usual modding way. Up top, real quick, I want to show you, I have one of these Gear Aid Hero clips. I can't remember if it's the small or the medium, but, you know, it's helpful as a carabiner if I want to hang the bag up, not drag it on the ground, all that kind of stuff. Now, the problem that I found with this bag is that it's got a nice shoulder pad. It feels really good. It's comfy for me. It's just the right size. But the little slider dealie that keeps the strap in place didn't keep the strap in place. As I wore it, it would just slide down and the bag would ride lower. So I had a couple of these black titanium pocket clips that I'd gotten for something else. And I thought, you know, those are pretty tight. So I'll bet they would help keep the strap lock in place. So I ran them opposite directions around the strap. And by golly, that worked. So let me show you. I've packed this out. It's really, really thick. Ridiculously so. I put a bunch of stuff in here, a lot of things that I don't carry all the time. It depends on the season or the weather or where I'm going, what I'm doing, but I just put all the potential things that I could stick in here or would put in here just to show you you know, the various options all at once. So let's go ahead and take a look at my everyday carry in the city urban messenger bag. All right, so as I said, I've packed this out to an insane degree. Again, not all this would go in here all at once ever, but just showing you what's possible. I already showed you my little pins and my Gear Aid clip and all that stuff, so let's take a look at what I actually put in the bag. Now it does have a couple little loops here that I don't really use. I don't feel comfortable putting some on the outside like that. I'm always afraid it'll fall off or out, you know. And I just don't like advertising to the world what I might be carrying around. So we'll just start real quick and actually move this just a shade so that we can get in there. I have my Owala water bottle. I love this thing. Nice locking lid. And it's neat. I can actually clip it to stuff with the Gear Aid Hero clip. But that's my standard issue Owala water bottle. This is going to take, I'm going to have to spread this stuff out, huh? In the other outside pocket is where I would keep either my tech pouch or the tool pouch that you've already seen that needs to be bigger, but again, we'll get there when we get there. So let's go ahead and open this up. Now, pick a hand, any hand. We'll go right here. Always want to have accessible, and I tend to think thematically. So I keep my water bottle over here so that it doesn't bump my arm when I carry it, because I'm right-handed, so I carry over my left shoulder. So along with water, you might need some snacks. So I'll keep, something like a Cliff Bar. And currently I'm liking these Mamba Berry-tastic fruit chews. You might need a little sugar, a little sustenance. And let's just work our way down. And if you recall from, oops, I pulled some of that out already. From my little EDC pouch, my Don't Have a Fit kit. This is another one of those, same setup. It's in this bag in case I don't bring my EDC pouch along. Here, I have to get a new case because you see what's wrong with this one instantly. But this, I don't have prescription sunglasses, but you need sunglasses. So I have these non-flip up, clip-on sunglasses that fit right on, and you just squeeze it and they go right there on my glasses. So that's helpful. You just have to, sure you do. There we go. It's easier when they're on. It's hard to do it when you're not wearing them. Backwards. So I have my little sunglasses there, so I don't have to carry another whole pair of glasses, but I still have some shades available. Then this is refillable hand sanitizer. It's by Noshinku. I saw this on another little EDC podcast, and I just thought it was brilliant. And this is and they come in different scents. You get the little spray bottle, container, whatever, but it is a hydrating hand sanitizer infused with bergamot, sweet orange, cypress leaf, and vetiver essential oils. I love vetiver, and combine that with citrus and all that. Boy, that smells good. And I love this because it's flat. And it also has comes with a big pouch that then when it's empty, you can refill it right there. So it's a lot less wasteful than using wipes, right? I don't like a big spray bottle. I'm so glad I saw this because you can fit in any pocket. I just keep it right here in the bag. Then, speaking of things I'm trying to not do, I'm not going to open it up because I don't particularly want to show actual tobacco products on video. I don't want to endorse that, and in fact, I do not. But I'm still working on the smoking, so when I'm out and about with my bag, rather than bringing a whole pack of smokes or what have you, I'll open it because it's empty. I have a little cigarette case, and it will fit, I think it's 8 or 10 cigarettes in there, and they don't get smushed. So, that's pretty nice. And it also looks amazingly classy because you never see anybody carrying a cigarette case anymore. So I found this little aluminum, actually it's steel, now that I think about it. It's a little steel cigarette case. And finally in that pocket is a little entertainment. I have a deck of playing cards, but typical me, they're black. So there's the backside, and they're Day of the Dead playing cards. So then it has your suit side there. I just think these are a lot of fun. They're just, a total blackout deck of cards. I had never seen one. I've seen others that were black, but nothing that was totally black. So I was very excited to find those. And I still have to break them in because they're brand new. They're still pretty slippery. But it's always good. Anybody can play some kind of cards. You can bust it out and play Go Fish, right? You're delayed on the train or at the airport, whatever, But don't play 52 pickup. That's not cool. So we move over to this other side. I have my array of pens and stuff, my Sharpie. And I'm gonna move this so I can lay this all out here. How about that? Gotta make it look nice for the socials and stuff. So there's all that jazz. My little snacks. My pouch. I don't know if it's even in shot, I don't care. In fact, I'm gonna move it. You got a big Sharpie, you got the fine point Sharpie, and as I carry in my pouch, that same Smoother Pro bolt action aluminum pen and Eversharp pencil combo. So there's that, and my click eraser. See, you see what I mean? I find something I like, and boy, I stick with it. Now, I do also keep this one, and this is just plastic, so I don't mind losing it, if I give it to somebody to use. But this is another one of those. It's a Forever pencil. I forget the company that made it. I'll throw the description up there. But and you can store extra tips in here. So that's actually helpful because this doesn't store any pencil tips, but this one does. So if that one you break it or it runs out eventually, you've got a few extras in this little guy. So now in the other side of the pouch, you've seen this before. In the previous video, this is my standard EDC pouch. Sometimes I'll put it in this bag, sometimes I don't, just kind of depends, but it is an option. And, it's good to have options. And then we have my other flashlight, not the one I carry on my person, but this is a higher lumen. It's actually discontinued now. It's the Nightcore MH11, but I love this light. It's very simple. It's just one button. And you cycle through the brightnesses and all that. So there's your bright. It does one thing. It's very simple, easy to use. There aren't a whole bunch of buttons. There isn't a proximity sensor, none of that, no lasers, no UV. It's just a nice light. It has a strong clip on it, so it stays in there. And that's it for the front pouches. So I'm gonna clear some space and we'll move to the inside. As I said, I put way more stuff in here than I would ever carry all at once. I just want to give you an idea of the various options that may be found in this bag at any given time. So it's summertime now. I don't need this item, but I don't tend to run cold, but in the wintertime, if I leave and I don't have a hat, it gets cold, what have you. I love my Kangles, and so I have the blacked out Kangle wool. Everyone calls them a beanie now. I grew up, we called them stocking caps. I don't know where that name comes from, but at any rate, it's a hat. It's for your head. It keeps it warm. And it's Kangle, because that's dope. And I love Kangle hats. And then, to go along with that, now this might be fall, might be spring, might be winter. I have this nice lamb's wool, Italian lamb's wool scarf that I found on the ground near my apartment last winter. Somebody had lost it. I hung it up on the fence rail. It stayed there for a day. Nobody grabbed it, so I thought, boy, that seems like a waste. And it's a really lovely scarf. Very soft. Everybody talking in the EDC is all about the merino wool, but lamb's wool, also free for me. So that works out quite well, doesn't it? And if I'm feeling fancy, I might bring this scarf. It's black and it's shiny, which is very cool. If I'm feeling a little jaunty, I might wear this scarf. I don't bring them both. It just kind of depends on my mood when I leave the house. You just never know. And then I have my Ironclad EXO They're actually tactical gloves, but they have the nice grip, or they're tactical gloves so they have a nice grip. And of course you can use the fingers on a touchscreen, but I love them because they're really low profile and they're a lot warmer than they might look. And the Velcro there, that's very, very helpful. Now, these would not be heavy duty winter gloves, you got the hole there, but based on one particular item that I carry, these tactical gloves work quite well. And you know what I'm talking about. Excuse me. So that's the winter stuff. Now, I have this neat little thing that's appropriate a lot more for springtime, summertime. I'm not going to pull all out of there because it's, it is what it is. But this is a packable rain jacket. I don't like ponchos. I get the utility. They're very wonderful. I don't hike in the woods, or not often. When I do, I have a proper, I'll wear a poncho or my camping rain jacket. But just for around the city, man, you never know. And the thing about Indiana, which you probably don't know, the old story here is if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes, it'll change. We're in the Midwest, that's the way it is. So, my packable rain jacket is pretty sweet. Speaking of rain, I have my little small umbrella because a civilized person has an umbrella. And these aren't very expensive. I've had it for a long time. It's lasted, but I don't mind if someone needs it, I can just give it to them. I don't care, it's not a big deal. So I might bring an umbrella for the day. Now, this is something that I keep in there pretty much all the time. It may be a little redundant based on something else, but it's one of those little string backpacks, just a nylon backpack. I don't wear it like that, but I might need to. You never know. Or someone else might need it. So, if you're out and about and you don't want to, and you happen to pick some things up, maybe you run into a farmer's market or something, or, hopefully you don't get hurt running into it. Those pineapples can be dangerous and poke your eye out. It's nice, and I'll go ahead and unwrap it. Why not? It's just one of these deals. Simple little string backpack. There you go. I suppose it can be a tote as well. You don't have to use it like a backpack, but very, very handy. And I did waterproof this as well because I'm crafty like that. So let me clear out the apparel section and we'll look at the rest. All right, now let's get into the other components, the other items that might be found in this bag at any given time. Let me rummage around in here. Okay, I'll show you this first. It has this attached little pouch section in there, which is handy. And attached to that zipper, I put a lanyard on it and this little carabiner that came with the case for my AirPods. I'm not even going to go into what they are, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows they're AirPods. They haven't been Pro 2s because I don't always need the brand new thing. But I added the little D-ring there because it fit a little better. It had a key ring on it and it was kind of cheap, so I stuck a D-ring on there. And the case is an ESR case because, I can't be running around with a white case. Now, I found some AirPods or some earbuds, wireless earbuds that they say are better than AirPods, and they're $169. I don't remember what they are. I have a note about it, but and I would love it if the pods were black, but man, these are perfectly good. They work fine. They sound good. They sound great. So I'm not going to worry about the white buds, but by golly, I had to get the black case, and it's really nice, MagSafe, you know, so you can charge it right in there and all that. And it's a nice tough case. I think it'll survive like a 30-foot drop or 20-foot drop, but hopefully I don't ever have to find out, because I might be sad. So now we get into the pouchy pouch, and in no particular order, you know, again with my flatness, I have my Burt's Bees hand salve, because I'm a bass player and I'm always doing stuff, and you know, my hands get cracked, so it's almost like oh, I don't remember what that stuff is. The really tough stuff. Anywho, it's good. And this is not what I always use on my beard, but if I'm finding I'm getting the frizzles, or it's just out of control, or you know, I just need to neaten up, I have this tin of Dad's premium beard balm, and it's lavender. You can see I've used it. It smells nice. You know, got to keep the beard looking fresh. This, I love it that it's in a black tin. Thank you so much. My friend Chesney in Las Vegas makes this. She has a whole line called Cloud 11 of different lotions and potions and things, but this is a pain relief salve. So it's Cloud 11's Elevated Relief. Now the joke there is, it's not really a joke, but it's a play on the fact that Cloud 11 Elevated Pain Relief is because there is actually THC in here. It looks kind of gross. It looks like you might grease an engine with it, but it smells so good, and it really, really works. I have neck and back issues, and sometimes issues with my right elbow, tendonitis, and it's got a whole bunch of ingredients in there, but it's all natural. It's you know, coconut oil, and there's your bergamot again, cannabis, chamomile. Fortunately, the cannabis doesn't absorb into your system like if you actually consumed it as intended, but it's a great pain reliever. And so I keep that in there because sometimes I need that stuff. I have this little pouch here. In there, I keep a KN95 mask and a pair of my nitrile gloves. And I know this seems big for what it is, but the little teeny ones don't give me enough options. This is one of those steel waterproof O-ringed pill containers by Outdoor EDC, and I have, you know, my arthritis strength Tylenol. I have a couple of Tylenol AM, couple Tylenol PM. Yeah, as I drop it, these are kind of industrial strength tummy chews, and then I have my normal. There's your PMs, the blue ones. But then I also have my medications that I take on a daily basis, which there are only 2. And, you know, if you end up having to be out later than you planned or what have you, I just think it's a good idea to have my meds on hand. I've never had to use it in this way, but the day that I don't have that will be the day that I need to. So, and finally, in there, just because it fit really well, and this is why the little backpack might be redundant, but this is another dry bag. So, you know, if I do get wet, whatever, I've got the rain jacket on, but you know, my socks get too wet, or you know, might be a shark situation, you never know. You got your dry bag, which is pretty cool. So there's what's in that pouch. I'm going to clear this off, and then we'll get into the final layer. Okay, so finally, this is where we get into my fun little mods. The thing about this bag, there are no dividers, there were no pockets inside aside from this little pouch. So for electronic devices, you know, unless you buy a sleeve, you know, there doesn't have a padded compartment for that stuff. So But I also don't like it just rattling around, okay? First, I mounted some Velcro in here, and I put in this. This was the first little slim aluminum wallet that I got, but it has Apple Find My built in. It's RFID blocking, and it has Apple Find My. Now, I could get one of the little cards or an AirTag or what have you, another kind of tracker, but I already had this, so why waste it? So I just Velcro that little sucker right in there, and it's on my Find My list. Now, in here, and I mount it so the zippers are toward the front as I'm wearing it. I have my just regular old plain Jane iPad. It's not the big fanciest one. It's new, but you know, it's not the most powerful thing, but I don't need the most powerful thing. I'm pretty simple these days. Like I've said, I'm not in the IT game anymore and all that. Sometimes I just want a bigger screen than my phone, but I don't want to use my laptop. So there we go. It's whatever the M11. I don't even know anymore. I used to be all about the every new Apple thing, and I just quit. I don't care. Does it work? Yes. Great. Let's move on. And then we have this is probably 4 or 5 years old at this point. My 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's the one that has the little Smarty strip above the keyboard, and the ones that had a lot of problems. But it was given to me by my former place of employment. When I left, they let me keep my laptop. So, hey, great. There's a MacBook Pro. Again, it's frugal. It still works just fine for what I need. It's totally quality. Not worried about it. So let me move. Oh yeah, there's my girls. And so what I did here, I do have these sleeves in here, right? But I wanted to keep them from rattling around or moving around, shifting around. So rather than buying a pouch or divider or admin panel or what have you, I bought a set of these $10 Lenovo sleeves, one 11-inch for the iPad. It's a little big, but whatever, padded sleeve, and I put some of the hook side, a couple of strips of Velcro on the back of that. Then I did the same thing with the 13-inch for my laptop. These came as a set. They were $10 a piece. So I can take actually, I'll finish this here. Inside, I put a big, I don't know if you can see it in there very well, but here we go. A big old section of the loop so that I could put something else in there, hook and loop. You know, I might get an admin panel, you know, with some meshy pockets and loops and all that fun jazz, but I don't have that right now, and that's fine. That's what the other stuff is for. So here's the laptop sleeve, and I want it in a particular order, so I will put the laptop in there. But you'll notice I did the same thing with this side of the laptop sleeve, a big loop panel. So I could, as I do here, stick the iPad on the front. Now they're stuck together, and this can go on the big loop panel, and I've got both my devices in sleeves locked in place. Or I could bring just my laptop, and I've still got a big panel here that I could put some other hook and loop stuff, you know, the mesh pocket, you know, utility type panel on there. I might do the same thing to this. That just seems excessive though. You know, if I'm carrying an iPad and a laptop, I think that's probably about enough crap to stuff in there, along with the other things, you know, the rain jacket and all that. So there you have it. That is the big honking loadout of potentiality, my possibles for my everyday carry messenger bag. And I mean, you figure the bag, the sleeves, the Velcro, $50, whole deal. And I love it. It works very well. Oh, and it also does have a little grab handle here. So, you know, because plain little grab handle is always fun. Right? Right. Okay. So there you have it. My EDC Urban Messenger Bag, stuffed chock full of items that I don't carry all at once, but you see the potential. And what's life without potential, right? I'll see you real soon, and we'll talk about my keys.